Tommy again, and today we're gonna talk about another type of lesson. What lesson are we gonna learn about today? Well, we're gonna learn about pronouns. What are some pronouns? Can you name them for me? Well, the pronouns are I, we, let me erase it and then I will write it bigger for you to see. I, we, they, you, he, she, it. There, I, we, they, you, he, she, it. Now, what are each of the pronouns gonna go with what verb to be? What verb to be will each of the pronouns go with? Do you know what? Well, I will always go with am. For example, I am a butcher. Or maybe some other job. I always go with am. And the example is, I am a butcher. Or you can make other types of sentences with I am too. Like I am in primary 1. I am in middle school or something else. But remember, I am will only use with the present tense. If you want to use I with past tense, you have to put was instead of am. Now, I am, then we can have an example of I am a butcher. What about we, they, and you? Well, we, they, and you, we, they, and you will actually go with are. For example, they are best friends. And as you know, it will are will also use for present tense. They will also use for present tense. If you wanted to use it for past tense, for we, they, and you, what will you use? What will you use if you want past tense? Do you know what? Well, you will use were if we, they, and you are past tense. Okay? Like you were a butcher last year. Just like that. But now we're focusing on are. Are is for we, they, and you for present tense. And were for we, they, and you are for past tense. Now, what about he, she, and it? What will we use them for? Well, he, she, and it will use is. And as you know, just like I, he, she, and it, present tense is. And also, the past tense of is was. Just like I. He was, she was, it is, she is, he is, or I am, I was. Just like that. Those are like the examples. Now, let's move on with the example sentences. He is you can write down in the comments below. He is a office worker, or he is working for, or he is working for a restaurant, or she is a woman, or it is a dog. Just like that. Those are some examples about he, she, and it going with is, we, they, and you going with are, and I going with am. Now, so you could see these types of pronouns all go with different kinds of verb to be's, right? Verb to be words. We have am, are, and we have is. But the past tense of those, I already wrote them out. There, here are the past tenses. And can you see the past tense of the words that I circled are the ones that I wrote out under them. Here, this is the past tense of is, was. And he was, she is, it is. Just like that. Now, do you want to learn about these simple questions for first graders? Do you want to learn about them? If you're a first grader or smaller, then you should learn this book. Well, are you ready to move on with the questions? Well, let's get my eraser, which is right here in my hand. Can you see my eraser? And wipe off the examples. You can note down the examples later when you pause the video at this point of the video. You can pause the video. Then erase the chart and then move on with the questions. Are you ready to write down some of the questions? Well, here. Peter is a, or you can use a or un. But this time, can you see? This is a very important point. Look at this. Can you see my board? Can you see my board? This is a very important place at my sentence. Peter is a office worker. You can use a in office worker. Why? Do you know why? Do you know why you can't use a in office worker? Why can't you use that? Well, it is because office worker has ah. Ah is a short vowel. You need to use on for the vowels. Long vowels or short vowels. Like long vowel O is O. Short vowel O is ah. You need to use both of them with un. So put away this and put away this. Now, Peter is an office worker. And which means Peter, okay, we will change it into he. He is an office worker. Here. So we will change Peter is an office worker until he is an office worker. We need to change it. Peter, change it into he. Now, are you ready for the next part and learn about the other two words? Well, let's move on with they. What can we use with they? Well, let's have an example. They. For example, they. Peter and Jack want to buy. Now, Peter and Jack, two people, means we have to put an S in the things that they want, in the thing that they want to buy. Now, can you guess what they want to buy? Well, Peter and Jack want to buy ice creams. Ice creams. Peter and Jack. Peter, a person, Jack, a person, want to buy ice creams because there are two people. Each person will get one ice cream, which means you have to use ice creams. Now, Peter and Jack, we will change into they. Because if you don't have I, then you will say they instead of we. Then you will be they want to buy ice creams. Then we change Peter and Jack into they. They want to buy ice cream. Then you make this long sentence turn into a short sentence. So that you don't have to waste any ink in your marker to write even more. Now, are you ready to move on with we? Are you ready to move on with we? Well, we. Let me erase the board so I can write the thing about we. You can note this on your notebook and study it again. There. Now, we. Now, are you ready to make a we sentence? I and Mary are going to the. You can write whatever they want to go. I'm just gonna write supermarket. Like a convenience store. I and Mary are going to the supermarket. I and Mary. We're gonna change into we. Then our sentence would be we are going to the supermarket. I and Mary are going to the supermarket. We will change I and Mary into we. Then we'll have the sentence, we are going to the supermarket, instead of I and Mary are going to the supermarket. Because if you use this long sentence, then there wouldn't be enough space in your notebook to fill it in. Now, what about the next one? We're going to talk about you. When will we use you? Here is very happy today. Or if it's you can use are. No, you. Now, could you see? You. Now, you, like you. I and me, okay? Could you see me? And you watching the video are you. Now, you are very happy today. So we need to use you when we use are in every sentence that describes you. Now, those are some of the examples of the pronouns. Now, I'm gonna show you some pictures if you can make two sentences out of them. the first picture is a baker. Now, what sentence can you make out of a baker? Well, you could say, Mr. Harlan's is a baker, or he is a baker. That's what we can use to make a baker sentence. Now, baker is he. That means he is a baker. Mr. Harlan's is a baker. Just like that. Now, what about this picture? This picture is of a waiter. And this picture is of a waitress. What sentence will you make out of a waitress? What sentence will you make out of the waitress? What sentence will you make? Do you know? Well, you could say, the woman is a waitress. Then you can change the woman into she. She is a waitress. Now, and behind the waitress is a waiter. Like, Mr. Underwood is a waiter. Just like that. That's Mr. Underwood's job. But you can change Mr. Underwood into he. He is a waiter. Mr. Underwood is a waiter. Now, what about this? The man is a dentist. The man is a dentist. We can change the man into he. He is the dentist. The man is a dentist. Then there's the duck. Now, what will you make out of the duck? Well, you could say the duck is 7 years old. Or you could change the duck into it. It is 7 years old. Really good sentence for a duck, 7 years old. Now, what about the family? What sentence you make about the family? Well, you can make a sentence like, the family is rich. The family is rich. Or you could say, if the family, then you don't have you. That means you have to use they. A lot of people, they are rich because we are rich. You can't do that because you're describing another family, not your family. Okay, everybody? Now, what about these 3 rabbits? Have you ever heard this story before? Peter Rabbit's story. It's of Peter Rabbit. And this is Peter Rabbit, a very naughty rabbit. He goes to another person's garden and gets chased by the farmer and then goes back to his house. Now, what can you make a sentence out of these 3 rabbits? What will you want to make? Well, you could say the rabbits can run. The rabbits can jump. You will change the rabbits into they. They can run. They can jump. And those are the sentences you can make out of all the pictures that I just showed you. And that is the end of our lesson about pronouns. Pronouns. These pronouns will help you make even harder sentences than before. I have showed you some of the past tenses of the pronouns and the verb to be's that go with the pronouns. And now, and the next part, we're gonna learn about another type of thing. And you can check in the comments below. You can say what lesson you want about nouns, pronouns, grammars, or anything. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe me more at Studying English with Tommy. So, bye-bye!